Hello, and welcome to today's story. Luna and I were just looking at the birds. Today's story is about birds. Well, a particular type of bird. It's a parrot. Today's story is called Pedro the Puerto Rican Parrot, and it's by Beverly Jatwahi. Sorry, Beverly, if I butchered your name, and Sunita Chowdhury. So we read it. Let's see what this parrot gets up to. Pedro the Puerto Rican Parrot. Mr. Gonzalez was the owner of the local animal rescue center. He liked to start his mornings going through his paperwork while sipping on a hot cup of coffee in peace and quiet. But on this Saturday morning, things were anything but quiet. The noise seemed to come from the front door, so he grabbed his keys, opened the creaky door, and gasped. Right before his eyes was a noisy green parrot. It was obvious that the bird wasn't hurt. "Don't worry, little one," said Mr. Gonzalez, picking it up. "You're safe for now." Ding! Went the shop's doorbell as Dominic and his mom stepped in. "Buenos Aires," Mr. Gonzalez said, but all they heard was "squawk." "Good morning," shouted Mr. Gonzalez to them. "How can I help you?" "Squawk, squawk, squawk." "We bought some food for the shelter," Dominic's mom replied. "But where is that noise coming from?" "Ah, that would be Pedro," said Mr. Gonzalez, "a Puerto Rican parrot that was abandoned this morning. Its wing is badly damaged." "Squawk, squawk, squawk." Dominic's eyes shot up. "A Puerto Rican parrot? We just learnt about them at school. They are some of the most endangered birds on our planet." He followed the noise and spotted the emerald green parrot. "Wow," he said. "Can we take him home, Mama? Please?" His mom shook her head. "I'm sorry, Dominic, but the bird is badly injured." "Squawk, squawk." "It will need constant care." "Squawk, squawk." "We don't have place for it, and squawk, it's far too noisy." "Squawk." Dominic shed a tear with disappointment. "Maybe you can come and visit him," suggested Mr. Gonzalez. "We're always on the lookout for helpers here at the rescue center." Dominic looked at his mum, who smiled and gave him a nod. "Yes!" cried Dominic. "I love to help." "Fantastic," replied Mr. Gonzalez. "You'll be in charge of Pedro. You'll have to feed him every day and change his bandages once a week until his wing heals. But, most of all," he added, "make sure to give him plenty of love." "Love?" Dominic asked. "Yes," replied Mr. Gonzalez with a knowing look. "Love will make the difference." He thanked Dominic and his mum for their donations. "See you tomorrow, Dominic," he said as they left. The following day, Dominic arrived at the centre bright and early. Pedro's squawks could be heard from the car park. Dominic greeted Mr. Gonzalez, who looked like he was suffering from a bad headache, and headed towards the aviary. At the sight of Dominic, Pedro started squawking even louder, flapping his good wing. He looked very scared. Dominic's attempts to get close were met by deafening noises and feathers flying about. He didn't know what to do, but he was sure of one thing. "I will not give up on you," he said, looking into Pedro's white-rimmed eyes. Suddenly, Mr. Gonzalez's words came back to him. Love will make the difference. Holding some seeds in the palm of his hand, Dominic gently opened the cage. He whispered soothing words, and Pedro seemed to stop and listen. "Calm down, Pedro. I'm your friend." The bird hesitated at first, but then he got closer and started pecking at the seeds. Dominic gently stroked Pedro's feathers as he ate. Pedro cooed and chirped. Dominic felt deliriously happy. After a week, Dominic changed Pedro's bandage, being careful not to make it too tight. Every day, Dominic fed Pedro and talked to him softly. He enjoyed telling Pedro about his day. Visiting his friend at the rescue center was Dominic's favorite part of the day. He rushed there after school and headed straight to his cage. But one rainy Monday afternoon, Dominic found Pedro's cage was empty. He ran to Mr. Gonzalez. "Where is Pedro?" he asked in distress. "I'm sorry," Mr. Gonzalez replied, "but he's been adopted. A loving family came to pick him up this morning. They'll look after him until he's ready to be released back into the wild." Dominic's heart ached. He was so sad that he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye, he thought as he walked back home. But as soon as he opened his front door, shouting, "Mama, I'm home," he heard a familiar sound echoing through the air. "Squawk, squawk, squawk! Pedro!" exclaimed Dominic as he ran towards his best friend. "You did such an amazing job looking after him that we decided to bring him home," said his mum. "Thank you!" cried Dominic, filled with happiness. Dominic and Pedro became inseparable. Dominic let the bird perch on his bed and would fall asleep to Pedro's melodic whistling. A few days went by until it was time again for Dominic to change the bird's bandages. But before he could put on the new one, Pedro began to flap his wing. "Pedro," said Dominic happily, "you can fly again. Although this means that it's time for you to go home. I'd love to keep you, but you belong in the rainforest." "I love you." The drive to the parrot. The drive to the parrot recovery program in El Unique National Forest was a long and quiet one. "I'm going to miss you, Pedro," sighed Dominic. "Take care of yourself. I will do everything I can to protect you and all the other Puerto Rican parrots." He petted the top of Pedro's head. "I love you, my friend. I love you," mimics the bird. Dominic's heart pounded. "You spoke!" Pedro spread his striking green and blue wings and soared into the sky. Dominic wiped a happy tear from his eye. That night, Dominic was restless and couldn't sleep. As he turned over in his bed and his hand brushed against something on his pillow. It looked like a piece of a puzzle. "What? How?" he muttered. On the piece, on the puzzle piece was the word love. Dominic held it tight. He somehow knew it was a gift from Pedro and that one day he would see his friend again. The end. There's a few facts about Puerto Rican parrots here. Shall I read them? Puerto Rican parrots are one of the rarest birds on earth. There are, there are only around 600 of them left in the wild and in breeding programs. That number might vary from the time you watch this. They live in the tree canopy in the rainforests of Puerto Rico. The parrots are emerald green in color, have a red forehead and wide white eye rings. They mainly eat fruit, leaves, bark, flowers, and seeds. Male and female Puerto Rican parrots look alike. Loss of habitat by deforestation, which means getting rid of forests, is the main reason why they have become endangered. So humans are cutting down parrots' homes, so they have nowhere to live. So it's harder for them to be alive. But that was interesting, wasn't it? A few facts about parrots there. Have you ever seen a Puerto Rican parrot? Um, I think I have in the shop. What did you think of the story today? I quite like that one, and I like the facts at the very end. Luna likes birds, parrots, but in a different kind of way. So that's the end of the story today. If you like this story, why not give me a like? Even more, why not follow? Subscribe to the channel. That way I know that you're liking what I do. And you can even comment as well now. So until next time, bye for now.